In this video, we are going to learn about formatting borderlines. Usually in financial modeling, we format the borderlines at the end of the modeling process. This is mainly because we are going to frequently use the copy paste functions or the fill right or fill down functions, which for your reference we're going to be learning a little bit later. But what happens is if you use the copy and paste functions, the borderlines will generally, follow your destination where you paste your cells. And this is something very annoying and time consuming because in most cases, the lines won't be where you want it to be. So you're going to spend a tremendous amount of time getting rid of the borderlines and then reformatting the borderlines. And to avoid this, of course, this differs by each individual analyst or each individual modeler, but still, generally, borderline practices are done at the end of your modeling process. But anyways, when it comes to formatting borderlines, generally there are two approaches that you can take. And the first approach is to simply just use your keyboards. In this case, all of the shortcuts start with Alt H B. B is for borderline. And for the basic borderlines with no special style or no special color, just black, just ordinary lined borderlines, we'll start with Alt H B. And then there are a lot of menu options of selections that you can make. For example, but the shortcuts are very relatively easy to memorize. For example, Alt-HBL and Alt-HBR obviously means borderline left and borderline right. Alt-HBN would be for no borderlines, so it would erase all the borderlines that if there was any. Alt-HBA would get you to all borderlines, so it will, trace every single line that you have selected. And then two exceptions to the shortcuts are Alt-HBO. So Alt-HBB has a different designated shortcut key. So bottom borderline, unfortunately, uses the shortcut O. And same goes for top borderline because T and O is already occupied. They are using Alt-HBP. So these two you have to memorize, but the others are relatively easier to memorize. And when it comes to financial modeling, most of the other shortcuts we rarely use. So I don't think it is necessary that you memorize it. But Alt-HBD is very often used. So Alt-HBD will get you to mark the top and bottom borderlines, something like this. And the reason is because in most cases we draw in financial modeling we draw horizontal lines instead of vertical lines. So in most financial models that you will witness borderlines that are horizontal, but it's very unlikely that you see borderlines that are vertical. So Alt-HBD is one of the other shortcuts that it's better if you memorize. And now for drawing lines, borderlines that have colors in it. So basically, you select your desired area where you want to format your borderlines, and then you're going to press Alt-HB and then the alphabet I. So I is for line color, and it would get you to your color palette. So if I choose red, for example, and then press Alt-HB all borderlines A, you would get red borderlines. So it's a two-step process. First you choose the colors and then you choose your desired area. Same goes with the line styles. So in financial modeling, we sometimes use this dotted line for, especially when it comes to, formatting your assumption cells. And then this double striped line is also sometimes used. So I highly doubt that you'll see other styles of lines when you're doing your financial models, these two lines. But anyways, it's very similar to how you would put borderline colors inside. Alt H B and then Y would get you to your line styles. You want the dotted borderlines, you choose your dotted borderlines, and then Alt H B A just once again would get you. Oh, and the color, the line colors are still selected in the color red. So in this case, back to Alt HB and then I for line color, and then Alt HB I and then black. Alt HB A would change the line colors back to black. And as I introduced in the beginning of this video, there is an alternative way where you can use your mouse, in which cases is much more efficient and easier to apply. So first of all, you choose your desired cells that's the same, and you're going to press Control 1. Control 1 is going to get you to format cells, and if you use your keyboard arrow key to the right, it will get you to the borderline settings. And here you can set different styles of borderlines simultaneously. For example, if you were to do it with your keyboards, we had to do just one by one, just one style, one color by one. But if you use your format cells function, you can do many styles simultaneously. For example, we can choose the colors. So our selected cells are this area over here, and if you want the dotted style, but if you just want it just on the left hand side and the inside vertical lines, and if you want, for example, a blue dotted line for the right hand side, you can apply different colors all at once. So it's, if you're doing multiple formatting practices simultaneously, this is a much more efficient way to go. So Control 1, and then you want to go to the borderline settings, but we wanted the black borderlines outside and inside. So yep, it would get you to your desired format. So shortcuts to formatting your borderlines, to be honest, lacks priority when it comes to financial modeling, but still at some point of time you would have to use it. And if you're not familiar with the shortcuts or the methods on how to do it efficiently, it's going to consume a lot of your time. So I hope that this video helps you to become used to formatting your borderlines both ways, using your keyboards and sometimes using your mouse when appropriate. We hope this video helps, and we will be back with our next session.